Alright, yo, so today I am on the charts. It's just gonna be a little fucking low production video. I'm just gonna be talking about entries, because somebody on my recent video, I think, I'll check out the comment, he was asking about entries on liquidity, supply and demand, and I thought that was actually a good question, because it's a lot different to, well, it takes similarities from other strategies, but there is kind of a lot of new stuff added. That was new to me anyway, coming from Doyle's supply and demand strategy to liquidity, supply and demand strategy, RD's liquidity, supply and demand strategy. So I don't have anything planned. I'm gonna have to go find a setup and then I'll get back to you guys. Alright, yeah, so here, this was a GJ trade that I think the Asian session traders took. Most of us are here based in the UK, so this happened like 4 or 5 a.m. So we didn't get entry, unfortunately, but very clean setup. I'll just say this is the first entry model. It is simply close on the first candle that's going in your direction. Let's just put it that way. By the way, sorry about the camera angle. I don't know if you can like see my nose or something. Don't. What I mean by that, so we get our zone formed. This is an accuracy zone, since this wick is larger than here. I hope you know all of that. If you don't know all of that, Mango's video is down below, go check that out. We have our accuracy zone here. Liquidity forms here and all of this kind of, these wicks. So I'll just draw a line here, why not? And it is 18 pips, max is 30 on GJ, so it's valid liquidity. Broke the liquidity's high. I'll just explain this for the first one, I won't explain it for the other entries. Broke liquidity high by this push up here, and also this push up here, broke here. Came back down straight to zone, didn't close inside zone. Our entry would be right here. Now this is like the most basic entry and probably has the highest win rate, as it is just so, you know, valid. I'll just put first EP at the liquidity. Then I don't know what this took off to in the end, a 1 to 8, but I mean, probably would have taken to like here. So yeah, almost a 1 to 8, which is crazy. This was a really good entry using this, because usually the close doesn't always have the best entries since you are waiting so long for it. But here, you managed to get a proper lowdown. So I'm also going to talk about flip entries in this video. This would not have been a valid flip entry, simply because we are so close to zone. When I get an example of that, that will be a lot more clear. Let me go to a lower time frame, such as a 15-minute. Yeah, see, I personally actually do trade the 15-minute as well. It's worked well for me. I've got 1 to 10s before, pretty recently actually. And on the 15-minute, you got an even better entry. Not only was it a whole other setup, but it's like the exact same entry, you know what I mean? So it also works on the 15-minute for me. I don't think RD trades the 15-minute. He used to trade the 5-minute, but the 30-minute is a lot more consistent. Don't take this as legit advice right now. The 30-minute close is great. I'll just leave that there. What I wanted to say is 15-minute break is also a great complement for entry. Let's say this started shooting up. I think that might have been 30-minute flip as well if that was the case. Yeah, but let's say this, it's hard to explain when it's not actually the case. Yeah, so this would be the next candle. So let's say this started shooting up and we break here. That would be a 15-minute break of candle entry. That makes sense. But I'll try and get another example because that is confusing to say without actually it being on the screen. Okay, another example was this UK 100. That was our 1 to 10. That is the 30-minute close in our direction. Even better example. So there you go. I'm still looking for entries of the other examples. Alright, I'm gonna use this example as a flip entry. Now, I don't know if this was just back testing. I think we actually did take this, but I think we took it as close or might have been break. So I'll go through the other 2 examples here. So first it is flip entry. Now this is a little bit too close for my liking. This lower wick being this big is good for flip entries. You want it to be kind of far away from zone and to be ventured into zone quite a lot. Okay, so the flip entry means we come bearish down, creating a lower wick, so that is what enters the zone. And when it goes from bearish and it comes all the way back up and flips to bullish, sorry, I'll move that out of the way because that's giving me epilepsy. So we're bearish and it flips to bullish here. So when it goes from, in my example, white or red to green, that is the flip of the candle. Does that make sense? So let's use a random candle, for example. So let's say there was a zone over here and we come wicking in. If this was to now go up and go bullish during that candle time, so if that was to come down and go into a, let's pretend there's a zone to the left, and flip upwards and go bullish, then that would be a flip right there. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense to me. Any questions, just drop it in the comments, and I'll do like a back testing example of it. And then finally, it's just that 15-minute break or 30-minute break. I think if you're waiting for 30-minute breaks half the time, you should probably just wait for close. It's a lot more valid. So we see Flip got a great entry all the way down here, whereas the 15-minute break is up here. Now, depending on the example and the scenario, other variations of entry can get better entries. You know what I mean? There will be times where the 15-minute gets a lower price than the half an hour flip, and there will be times where the half an hour close is going to get a better price than the break, like what happened here. It's really pissed me off how it keeps going back. So this was the 15-minute break price up here, and we see that even close is down here and flip is even lower. So those two variations of entry, those two entry models got a better entry this time, but on another time the 15-minute may be better. Comprende? Sorry, I'm speaking like an absolute idiot today. Alright, and now for the last example is what we see here. It's just a 15-minute break of candle. Could it be any more simple? Now, break of candle is a entry model that Doyle uses, and it is when this wick, just here, so we come into zone, we wick the zone, you already know all of that, and then, so we come into zone, wick, come up and break the previous candle's highest price on buys. So that would be just here. When we break past this, we enter. Now this can be done on the 30-minute and the 15-minute. Once again, 15-minute is going to have riskier but better prices half the time. No, half the time means they're equal. More than half the time. Does that make sense? I know I've spoken like an idiot today, but I hope that gets you some value. Like I said, completely just not low effort, because, you know, this is good knowledge, but dialing back all of the editing and getting you that sauce. I am sweating. It's not even hot, but I'm gonna love you and leave you guys. Thanks for watching, and subscribe. Join up RD's Discord below to get his webinars talk about entry models a lot, or when we go over previous trades, he mentions the entry models and why he took that entry model compared to other ones that may have, you know, worked out better, or it's all in there. So I hope to see you in there. Follow my Insta, join up my Discord, like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Mwah. Alright, so I know I've already said bye, but I want to quickly show you the 5-minute, because it has slightly different models when it comes to flip entries, since it's such a low time frame that the higher time frames have such a bigger drastic effect on it. We see this, I don't know how valid the zone is, I literally just, first one I saw, we see we broke the low. This is the liquidity just here, and on this tap we see we tapped at 205. Now this is just after 2 o'clock, which is an hour candle. So as we see here, as 2 o'clock hits, there's so much upwards momentum. That's because the higher time frame candles like to make an upper wick before going downwards, or like making a lower, you know, every higher time frame candles like to have an upper and lower wick. So if we're coming towards this supply, we're going to want to make that upper wick on the higher time frame candle before we come down. That's why we see so much buying here. By this point, there is no upper wick, zero upper wick on the hour candle. Then we come all the way up, and then from there we just shot down. So when high time frame candles are formed, just be cautious on taking 5-minute entries. Now that is all. Thanks for watching. I love you all. Ugh.